Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. I'm here today to bring the review for One Piece episode 857. This episode had two parts to it. Katakuri vs Luffy, obviously, and everything around involving the cake. So I'm going to talk about the cake stuff first because that's the least of the exciting stuff. So it's just an update on how they're doing with the cake. And during the scene, we have Puddin get a message from her sister, and what this message was basically really updating Puddin on what's going on with the Straw Hats currently right now, and their plan to ambush them when they arrive at Chucky Island, as I call it. So upon hearing this, Puddin starts to panic, and she goes to Sandy like, "Oh my gosh, what's going like there's panic there." And but Sandy's like, "I'm not worried. My boy Luffy's got this. I'm not worried." So that's the majority of what happened in that scene. But we do have a little side pieces, two side pieces to go with this scene that we got. We have all the stuff with Pound, Chiffon's dad, and he saw her coming from afar, so he's now outside the factory trying to get in because he wants to see his daughter. We also have on the other side of things Oven, who has also arrived. He's there to ambush Luffy and company if they happen to turn up early, but he's seen the commotion with Pound. He's heard that right now Puddin doesn't want no one in the factory while they're making the cake, and he sees Pound making a ruckus, so he's intervened there as well. So what do you think is going to happen there? Is Pound going to get to see his daughter? Blah 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 blah. So that took up the majority of the second half. What took up the majority of the first half, as I said previously, was Luffy versus Katakuri. So the fight starts off now, and if you ask me to describe this first half of the episode, and in sorry in in as little as words as possible, I would say sliding 4 days, because in this part of the episode we have Luffy hitting Katakuri multiple times, and Katakuri was like, sliding backwards, And other times he was flying backwards from the hit, but the majority of the time he was sliding backwards, trying not to fall on his back, trying to keep up the image that his sisters and brothers do have of him. But it was during this scene that we learn what Katakuri has been doing up until now, because we have seen previously Luffy attack him, and despite him using armor and haki, still going through Katakuri, who is a Logia, and we find out that within this episode he hasn't been going through. Luffy hasn't been going through. Katakuri has been evading, bending, manipulating his body to make it seem like he's going through. As Luffy says within the episode, uh, it's not his mochi, it's devil fruit ability that makes him impressive. It's his skill with observation. Haki, obviously, we know already he can see into the future. That's where prominently his skill lies. We also find out during this scene that the only reason up until now Luffy's been able to hit Katakuri is because he hasn't been using his observation haki. He says you need to be calm to use that. So basically, Katakuri states that himself that he lost his cool. So why did he lose his cool? Simply because Luffy and the chefs saw him eating on his back. And so when this happened within the manga, I was thinking, really, like, you're really gonna do that? I felt like it was a forced way for Katakuri to lose his cool, because up until then he seemed like really cool, calm, and collective, and so on. He wouldn't lose their cool easily, and especially over something like that. So when it happened in the manga, I was like, no, 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 no. But now he's stated that, and he seems to have his cool back. It should be an easy of gear 4, right? But that may not be the case. I don't want to spoil nothing, but in this episode, he gets his cool back. He goes back on the attack, and he's able to at least match Gear 4, hitting him, causing damage, and all that good stuff. So the episode is left off with them fighting, and that's everything I've got to say about this episode. And I give it. It was more like, episodes have been needing a bit of action recently, and this episode was more action packed, but it's not. It was, for me anyway, the way I saw it was Luffy attacking, sending Katakuri flying. Katakuri got his call back, then he attacks Luffy. It wasn't really a good choreographed fight. So for those reasons, I'm only giving it a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please go to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.